huge these days because actually Andrew Cuomo announced that way initially too, and Barack Obama did similarly, and Hillary Clinton. So making use of multimedia is certainly nothing new. Turning for a second to Andrew Cuomo, he made an announcement abruptly on Saturday, and that you were not there. No elected officials were there. Your executive director, Charlie King, was there, who's close to Cuomo and ran with him in 2002. Cuomo actually delivered a very harsh castigation of Albany and its dysfunction, saying that the antics of Albany would make Boss Tweed blush. Are you upset by that? What's your reaction to that, this sort of a pox on all their houses criticism that the Attorney General has levied on his fellow Democrats?
Well, I mean, I think he's not talking about just Democrats. I think he's talking about Democrats and Republicans. I think he's not just talking about what's gone on this past year or the year before. I think he's talking about decades of mismanagement and definitely severe problems up in Albany. And I think that he is speaking for the people of the state of New York who want change, they want reform, they want action, they're tired of all of the talking. To the contrary, I was delighted to hear what he had to say. I think he was speaking exactly to the issues that are needed to get attended to. And I think he's going to be excellent and on point. I think that's why we're going to win in November. And I think that legislators, Democrat and Republican legislators, who follow his lead and agree to support his agenda are going to find themselves successful, and those that don't do so at their peril.
And to that end, actually, there's going to be a vote at the convention on some kind of ethics platform that's a codification of his agenda, that's basically voicing party support for the reform agenda that Andrew Cuomo has put forward. That's correct?
Right. The messaging behind this convention is all about change and reform and making and building an efficient, transparent government in New York State, the best government in the country. That's what we're looking to do, and that's the message that we're going to have in this convention. So we do have a proposal, a resolution, if you will. It will come up, I believe, on Thursday morning. It could be Wednesday afternoon, to promote an ethics agenda, a thorough, comprehensive ethics program, and to ask our legislators to pass that.
But, Chairman, you don't think that's threading the needle a little finely? I mean, Democrats have actually controlled state government for some time now. Since 2006, Eliot Spitzer got in, and you know, Democrats were controlling everything, and Albany has remained a mess. I mean, if you're talking about change, why do you not believe that voters will say, well, you know, change, maybe we should change parties too?
Well, I think it's inaccurate to say that the Democrats have controlled everything. Remember, up until not too long ago, 3.5 years ago, we had George Pataki as our governor for quite a number of years, and you had a Republican Senate majority up until January of 2009, which is also not very long ago. And even when we had the Democratic majority, you remember the coup and how narrow we have had in that majority. It's been really not a functioning majority in many respects because of the fact that one member can go off the reservation and lock everything down. So what I would argue is that although we now have a governor and we will have a governor, we need the margin in the Senate to get these reforms through. We need the Assembly doing the same. I believe under the leadership of Andrew Cuomo and his agenda, we're going to see major action on that. The voters want action. The voters know these problems didn't happen in a year or two or three. These are decades in the making. They've read the papers all these many years, and they've seen political leaders of both parties falling short in their obligations one way or another. So I think the voters are sick and tired. I think that's why we are really excited to have a candidate like Andrew Cuomo, someone who has proven to be reform-oriented, who's got a great record of reform, who has fought for the people and against special interests in his 3.5 years as Attorney General. And we're very excited by his leadership at the top of this ticket, and that's why we think we're going to win in November.
Okay, well, Chairman, we actually have to go, but I will be seeing you in Rye. I'll be there this evening, and I will catch up with you in the morning, and we'll be following you throughout the rest of the convention, and we're looking forward to it. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks so much, Liz. Thank you.